We are. What is this? The 12th today. Oh, how we doing, guys? Think we're there, up and running. Hopefully. Soon be Crimbo. Hope we've all been good boys and girls this year. Oh, well, here we go. Look. Some weeks it works, some weeks it don't. Up on now. Can't tell if anyone's in the chat. And I can't see if anyone's in the chat. Oh, come on, this is ridiculous. Do-do. No, not going to happen.
Let's go. Are you ready? Everybody, are we ready?
Oh, I am now. Evening, Riggy.
Hello, everybody. Right. I'm in the chat. Evening, Mickey. Let us know who's in the chat. Yeah, if I clicked on the right mouse, wouldn't it? We'll take you on a journey through the unexplained. Good evening, guys, and we are back. It is the 12th of December 2024, and we are back from outer space. Welcome one and all to Journey Through the Unexplained, live and exclusive on Pulse Talk Radio. I just want to say a massive thank you for the last hour that Mr. Philip Solomon has taken us through. Once again, what a wonderful show that he takes us through. He's such a professional, and he makes it sound so easy. But I just don't know how he makes it sound easy. So thank you to the lovely Philip Solomon for the last hour on Pulse Talk Radio. And where would I be without my wonderful co-host, Mr. Paranormal Boo?
Hello, good evening. How are we doing?
All good. Yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Yeah, we covered?
I've got the sniffles, Russ. I've got the sniffles, mate. It's finally grabbed me.
It grabbed you. Has it grabbed you?
I'm not too bad. The wife was quite ill with it, but I'm all right. I've just a niggly throat.
Just a niggle.
Yeah, it hasn't quite gripped me 100% yet, and I hope it won't.
Well, there's just so much of it going around at the moment, isn't there? There is so much.
Yeah, I'm surprised I lasted as long as I have, to be fair. They're dropping like flies at work. We got half the force off.
So, I just know I'm going to get it over Christmas. I just know it.
See, that's one saving grace. I'm thinking, well, that's all right. At least I've got it out of the way with early.
Yeah, I just know I'm going to grasp it over Christmas. Just feel it in me bones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll dick out of it well and truly. But, you know, I know me, my Christina's gone down with it. She's got a really heavy chest infection at the moment. I say you walk around my place of work, and all you can hear is everyone coughing and you name it, and you just think, oh my God. But you know, if I manage to get away with it, I'll be lucky. But I hold no hope. I hold no hope. It's going to get me.
Going to wait for the worst time in it.
Yeah, that's what it's going to do. You know, I was what is it? I waited a good year and a half for COVID to get me. Then it hit me like 6 times on the trot. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, bang, 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 bang. I thought, get you there. But no, everything been okay though, Paul?
Yes, not too bad, mate.
Yeah, good week.
Slow. It's a bit on the Christmas slowdown at work, so it's been a bit of a struggle. It's nice to have a bit of an easier work life, but it just drags, doesn't it, when you're sort of standing around and waiting for the next job. I didn't really want Christmas to get here because it seemed like the year had gone too fast, but now we're here, I kind of want it to be here now because it gets me work up the Christmas out the way with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can just chill then. I've got a bit of time off, so.
Then you can have a nice Christmas break.
Yes.
That's it. Followed by a nice Christmas drink.
Yes. Definitely. Not too much this year.
Yeah, I know, but it's Christmas. It's allowed.
Yeah.
Well, we've been off for a couple of weeks, guys, and that is partially all my fault because I've been very busy over the last couple of weeks. Yeah. Well, last week I was, I have to admit, last week was a bit of pleasure. Last week, the week before wasn't. That was work related, but this last week, last Thursday, I got my birthday present from my better other half, the lovely Christina, that got me tickets to see Peter Kay. And I can't recommend it enough. I really can't recommend it enough. I'd never laughed so much. He was really funny. And you have that sort of, what's the word? You have that sort of, you're going there and you see Peter Kay on the telly, don't you? You see him do all that and you just think, oh, it's going to just be like family fun. But I tell you what, it is far from it.
Really?
Him live is very, very different to the TV.
Brilliant.
And it is very nostalgic. Very, very nostalgic to the, I don't think I've ever been to the O2 where everyone is singing adverts. Exactly. It just singing, old fashioned, like the joke was you don't get adverts like they are now.
No.
Kiora and
Yeah,
if you like a lot of chocolate, or you don't get them adverts. And you had sort of what, I don't know how many the O2 holds, 10,000 people singing old fashioned adverts.
Brilliant.
Very nostalgic.
What was the other one? Bongo, wasn't it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Way down deep in the middle of the Congo. Yeah, they called it on bongo. But yeah, it was very nostalgic, but very, very good fun, So I would highly, highly recommend it for anyone who's going to see it or thinking about going to see it. Definitely get your tickets booked up. I should get done, I should be, get some rights here for advertising for Peter Kay, shouldn't I? You know what I mean? But no, very good fun. And yeah, very, very different to what I was expecting. So,
good.
But yeah, no, I do apologise about last week, but there was nothing I could do about it. Well, we have sort of got a show planned for you tonight. Because there's so much been going on over the last couple of weeks, isn't there, Paul? That I don't think we can really get away with it. I did. I'm hoping Mickey has stayed in the chat, and I'm going to come to his bit sort of midway through the show because I want to sort of touch on the UFO thing that is going on and these drones, and obviously Manchester in England a few weeks ago or a week and a half ago was shut down for a good half a day, wasn't it? Or it could have been a full day due to drone activities. Or what we was told of possible drone activities. Then obviously there was a, what would you call it? A whistleblower, a pilot that took some stills of a sphere object hovering above the airport and sort of sort of low propulsion, wasn't it?
There was one, wasn't there one that sort of nearly landed on the
That's it. That's
yeah,
the one.
yeah.
You know, so, and this is now, you know, in the UK of, you know, this sphere-like ball that is showing no signs of propulsion. It doesn't seem to have any life form as we know it. So it's just very interesting. And then over the last couple of weeks, we've now seen these so-called, what we're calling drones, popping up all over the world.
Yeah, and they're not looking like what I thought they would look like either.
No,
because when as soon as you hear drone, I'm thinking of them things you're selling on TikTok and that, you know, with the with your 4 propellers, but they ain't. They're not, and some of them are the size of big cars and things like that, aren't they? You know, 12 foot long and.
Yeah, as I say, you know, and there is a massive, obviously, cover up, isn't there, happening within the United States here, because there is a lot of, obviously, senators and Congress, and there's a hell of a lot of motion here regarding something, even to the point of, not to say they're hiding anything. That's not what I'm saying here, but there is something they're covering up in my eyes. Because we're getting, so you've sent me quite a lot of videos over the last couple of days regarding, obviously, certain senators, congressmen saying that, you know, they are asking the question about these drones, where they think they're coming from. And now we're getting that there is a mothership from Syria off the coast of America sending these drones over. Doesn't feel right, does it?
No, and I don't. There's something I just don't quite buy about the whole thing. Personally, you know, don't know where they're coming from, don't know where they're going. Really, I don't buy that. I really don't buy that. With all our technology capabilities, and you're telling me they haven't been able to track or trace one of these things. I sent you the video earlier, wasn't it? You know, the ex serviceman who was an helicopter pilot, and they had this was in America. They had a helicopter flying over the drone, didn't they?
Yeah.
But they didn't feel safe, so they flew away and left it. I mean, come on. That's the military.
Well, I'm assuming they were told to leave it.
But again, does that make sense to you, Russ? You look at it, anytime there's ever been a UFO encounter or anything like that, as soon as the helicopters are there in force, chasing it, anything unexplained, and they will not leave it until that leaves them. And you're telling me that they go up to it and think, oh, no, I don't like that. Let's move away. Let's let that be. The military.
Yeah,
I don't buy it.
No, I don't buy it. I don't buy it, but I don't buy everything that, you know, we are getting a lot of people coming out and asking the questions. I think there was one senator today that was quite quite peed off with the whole situation, because he drove over 2 hours to get to the hearing, and the hearing lasted all of about 45 minutes, only to be told it's the Syrian mothership that's sending these drones over. For what, though? Shoot them out the sky. Why are they not shooting them out the sky? Or what is, you know, I'm sure they've got technology that will just blow them into smithereens and won't cause any debris whatsoever.
Well, again, that's their usual approach, which again doesn't make sense to me. So, I mean, if it is genuine, and they are visitors from somewhere else, you don't. It shouldn't be your first port of call. You know, shoot them out the sky, blow them to smithereens. Because, all right, they're hovering over military bases, which is a worry. But I mean, yeah, I mean, even just saying that, it's no one else would be able to fly over a military base like that, would they?
Hey,
Without getting blown up. So, but again, see, I'll just keep going back to Project Bluebeam, mate. This is gearing up.
I do. I exactly. I do. You know, I know we're both on the same wage when it comes to Project Bluebeam. I know we are. Hold on. Joe has. Let's have a look. That's Joe. What has put. This is what I know. 3rd of December was predicted for the full exposure of the good ET craft. This happened as predicted and hasn't tailed off since then. All around the world, there are hundreds of sightings. Yesterday, a senator said that these are drones from Iran, not Syria, and these are not drones. While all of a sudden, of a terminology from UFO to UAP to drone. Yeah, Joe, I'm with you. I'm, you know, I'm totally with you. I don't get all the you know the hiding up of it, and this is what you know. This ramping up. For me, I strongly believe in this slow release, this slow drip fed mentality that we're having. I know the one in Manchester, the pictures in Manchester, there's been a lot of what's the word of what I'm looking, conspiracy theorist out of it. That why wasn't there any video of it? Why was there only stills of it? There has been no video footage of this. I don't know if Simon is watching tonight, but Simon was, you know, actually me and Simon spoke about this last week regarding, you know, that particular bit of footage, because I did find it's very, you know, I thought it was very not conclusive to me, but it didn't look like it was photoshopped. I know that's easy to say nowadays because obviously Photoshop is you know,
pretty impressive nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, what they can do with AI and all that, then we're never going to know unless we see it ourselves. Which, you know, there's been a lot of things, you know, there has been a lot of lighting up in the sky, so to speak. A lot of cloud cover now coming over. You know, we've gone back to this grey, dense, thick cloud again within the UK. What's that hiding? What are they not letting us see? You know, I don't think once again we've seen the sun for you know, a good a week. Don't think I've seen it for a week. It's just been rain, cloud covered. Once again, I think they're hiding something. Joe said, if you follow Firesight, they are in contact with the good ETs. This is all planned for disclosure or dissolve. Is that?
I think that's meant to be disclosure.
Yeah. So more sightings are in Trump State, New Jersey. They are UFOs and not drones. Yeah, I say that to me. Some do look like drones. Some, not all of them, but the ones that I've seen, like the ones that I have, I don't think they're life form. That's my personal opinion on it. I don't think they're life form. I think they're sort of some form of scouting, you know,
surveillance type.
Yeah, sort of thing. You know, now they don't look drone to me. There was one really weird picture. I think we sent it is like a shape like that going through the sky, but open. I think you sent me the video today. Or was it? Perhaps you never sent me the video today. Perhaps it was me watching something today. Yeah, it was me watching something today, and I never saved the bloody video. But it was it was the ball, but it had opened.
Right.
So looking at it through the side, it looked like it was going through the air like that. Very, very sort of in its thing. And I'm just thinking, there's so much of it. And once again,
And they all look different though, from what I've seen. You know, they don't all look the same.
No, they don't. You're right.
So,
Joe said it's very interesting that the cloud cover is so intense and prolonged. It's been like it for over a week.
yeah.
You know, it started, I would say it started last. Yeah. I don't think the last time I saw some was about 2 weeks ago, I think. Probably.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Not
just
really
over a week ago. It's funny because we've been coming out into the car park at work, and we're looking up at the sky, and before the cloud cover, and it was just as a sky used to look, and how it looked in lockdown. It was just pure, beautiful blue sky, not a cloud in it, not a chemtrail in it. You know, you can see the plane still moving, but just your normal contrail, like, you know, it just dissipates as a plane goes along. And you're like, why can't it be like this all the time?
Yeah. But and it's been, interestingly, it's been very cold as well.
Yeah.
And I don't normally associate cloud cover and coldness. You normally get that coldness when the sun is out. Do you know what I mean? You get that really crisp winter
clear
day,
skies, isn't it?
clear sky, no cloud cover. But the last couple of days, I've been freezing, especially in the morning. It's been very early morning. But I think they're hiding something. I think the UK is hiding something at the moment. The thing that is, you know, that surprises me the most, and this way around it, this time around, that it's being allowed. You know, this is being allowed, and that we have so-called, let's call them what we're being told they are, drones, even though we know they're not, these so-called drones over military bases, and they're not being shot down. Why on God's green earth would America come out and say that this is from a ship off of the coast that are sending drones over without shooting them down?
Yeah.
That's no different to what I would say is 9/11. They knew them planes were coming. They didn't shoot them down.
Yeah.
This has been allowed in my eyes. This has been, you know, not to say that, you know, potentially we cannot shoot them down. You know, we may not be able to shoot them down. They may be too fast. I get all that. They may be shielded and blah, blah, blah. You know, that's very Hollywood, I know. But for us not to even try, I just find it odd. I just find that
how
odd.
many videos have you seen of these drones being followed by military planes and helicopters? I haven't seen one.
No.
It's like, oh, crack on.
Well, it's only a drone. Just let it happen. I think that's how it feels.
Yeah, it just doesn't. Something just doesn't add up, does it?
Paul Musk, I haven't stopped watching the video evidence. It's compelling to the point that it's ridiculous. They are so being ignored. The deep state are waiting for someone to say, let's shoot them down. And then they will, then it'll be full on UFO war, I reckon. I think the deep state.
It's been predicted that that's the next thing that's going to happen, isn't it? And what was it? I'm sure I sent you a video a little while back, Russ, about predictions, and they're saying that the next big thing to happen will be UFO battles. You know, battles with UFOs in the skies.
But that just goes everything that we want to hear, because we follow Project Bluebeam. That just follows that. That's following it textbook to the point.
And make no mistake, you know, with the technology and that they've got, they to pull it off, they wouldn't mind hurting people in the process of doing this for authenticity. You know what I mean? If they've got weaponry on these UAPs, drones, whatever you want to call them, you know, they wouldn't think twice about firing off a few shots into civilians, you know, areas to make it look as real as possible.
I just want to sort of pick on this point here. Not pick on it. I don't mean it like this. The deep state are waiting for someone to say, "Let's shoot them down." Now, I don't think they need any option to. I think if we have any right to shoot something down, that's over our military bases, without any. In my eyes, we don't need deep state to be telling us to shoot anything down that is over our military personnel bases. That doesn't matter if you're in the UK, it doesn't matter if you're in Spain, it doesn't matter if you're in America. That is
restricted airspace, isn't it?
Yeah, and I get it. So if they're not worried, it tells me they're not generally worried about what is over at this point. But it does go along two different pathways here. I don't think the deep state will say shoot them down. But the sheer fact is they're allowing this to get out of control. But they're going to be, you know, we have now got what I would call the deep state talking in America. This is Iran. This is Syria. This is this. This is that. Well, we all know the deep state in the States loves a war. I don't mean that nastily. I don't mean that to be offensive to anybody in the States. But I don't think that the American people would want that. Do you know what I mean? They don't want these wars. They don't. But it's a way of getting control for the deep state and the governments over in America. And I think that is what is happening is the deep state are going to let this ride because then that will initiate some form of war. That is what I think is going to happen. Because it could be the deep state using these against us. It could be quite easily, you know, I don't see, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in Syria at the moment, isn't there? That is obviously an uprising and everything going on. To be fair, I haven't really followed that, so I don't want to comment on that. But we know that we've heard, you know, these are Russian drones. We know that we hear that quite often. So that to me, what is going on? Yeah, and I think this is what this is leading to in my eyes. You know, I think we're going to get all of a sudden it'll be, I think, as you say, I think 2025 is going to be a very important year. And I do think that you're going to see these random attacks throughout the world, where it comes from. You know, I know people, you know, I know Joe is a strong believer of it as well as Simon. No, I don't think they are drones, Joe, but I'm just saying what we are being told. I know that Joe and Simon have this strong belief that there are good UFOs that will save us, blah, blah. I don't believe that necessarily. Of course, I think we have our allies within the UFO, but I don't think they necessarily care about this planet, just because I think there's another million planets out there with life forms on. We're just another fish in a massive, massive ocean. Do you know what I mean? Hold on. I'm sorry, Mickey. Mickey says, I believe the UFO summit going down. Second coming are closer, in my opinion. Apparently, I misheard Joe. The deep state want the normal public to ask them to shoot them down. They're not drones. Drones can't stay in the sky for hours. They are not drones. And no, I know they're not drones. But I just use it because that's what we're being told. Do I think they're drones? No, I don't. I don't think they're drones. Legacy Media led by exactly that, Joe. Exactly that. And I think, But I think this is playing what along the lines they want them to. They want this. They're releasing this media. All these, UFO footages that we're seeing, it's just being released. They're allowing it to be out there for some strange reason. If they didn't want it out there, they have more control than we ever could imagine. I don't think the people have the control over the deep state, as in, I think they just find ways to manipulate. And I think what has gone on regarding these so-called UAPs/drones, they're only there because they want us to see it. That's as simple as how I believe that happens. It can easily be taken down on any social media platform. So they're only letting us see it for what reason, I don't know. I have an opinion. Obviously, I said my opinion. I think they're going to use it to incite some form of conflict around the world.
The fact that it's been on almost every mainstream media outlet, that's to me, that's the big giveaway. If it's something they wanted to keep under wraps, they just wouldn't report on it.
It was just quite fascinating how it come out in the UK, to be fair, because I didn't pay any attention really on the day, because I know we'd had so-called drones shutdowns of airports in the past. Heathrow and Gatwick were one of them, which was a legitimate drone. Remember a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Actually had pictures of the drone, which was legitimate. But this one they had no pictures. They just said it was a drone. And all of a sudden we had this sort of pilot come out and say, this is what was shutting down the airports. And that's what fascinated me the most. It's like, well, this is on Sky News, for want of a better. The pictures were on Sky News. This is what they were seeing. But what makes it even weirder is no one bats an eyelid about it.
Yeah.
The normal people, I say normal people, the people like us are like, why isn't anyone noticing that? Why ain't no one saying that? There's a round ball sitting on a runway in the middle of your country. It's shut down an airport. It doesn't bother you.
Nothing. Yeah.
It's on your news. You're eating your dinner to it. And they, fine. It's a round ball on a runway. Really? They're virtually telling you there's a potential UFO landing on your airstrip, and no one batters an eyelid. People like us are more fascinated by it. It's like, yes, you're actually getting footage here. We're getting told on mainstream media, but then all of a sudden your head goes, well, what are they planning? We can't just take a little bit of information and run with it, can we? We have to go deep. We have to go deeper. But no, I do generally believe what everyone is saying here. I do think there is a massive. I know that there was a new Stephen Greer thing come out midweek last week, I think, as well. I think it's on Apple TV. So I shall try and locate that. That's a new thing that has come out this week, which is supposed to be quite interesting. A lot of people have said how good that is as well. But I do generally believe that we have got a massive ramp up to something along these lines, because I know you sent me a video, didn't you, Paul? I'm going to play the video, which sort of coincides to what it's only going to be voice, by the way, guys. So just bear with me a second. It wasn't this one. Okay, let me play this one, because this is what the media have been saying about the drones. Okay.
I don't know how many mayors sent a letter to you this morning asking for a clarification. What can you tell us? What is going on, and why is it taking so long to come up with an explanation?
Yeah, it's a good. I don't blame people for being frustrated. Let me say, most importantly, right up front, we see no evidence, and I say we. This includes Homeland Security, FBI, Secret Service, our state police, authorities at all levels of government. The most important point to say is we don't see any concern for public safety. That's number one. Number two, having said that, it's really frustrating that we don't have more answers as to where they're coming from and why they're doing what they're doing. We had last night 49 sightings. I think 20 of them were over 100. Now, those include, I think I saw one mistaken a fixed wing aircraft, a plane, a small Piper Cub, for instance, for a drone, or you saw one and that counts, and then I saw the same one and that counts. So we think these are overstated, but it's a non-zero number. I was on with the White House and Homeland Security leadership literally at the very top yesterday for pretty much all day. I'm hoping we'll get answers sooner than later. I would just ask folks to continue to let the FBI or their local law enforcement know when they see something, and we'll continue to do everything we can with our federal partners to get clearer answers.
Why is it so hard to get answers?
These are apparently very, as I understand it, very sophisticated. The minute you get eyes on them, they go dark. And, you know, we're obviously most concerned about sensitive targets and sensitive critical infrastructure. So we've got military assets, we've got utility assets, we've got the president-elect's one of his homes here. This is something we're taking deadly seriously. We've got good cooperation out of the feds, but we need more, and that was my plea.
Finally, how much longer do you think?
I don't know, but if we have news, I'll let you know. The minute we know something, I'm not going to hide it under a bushel.
Yeah, Governor, you have people saying, I saw a drone and spraying something, or I saw a drone crash in my yard and it set off an alarm when I tried to go near it. There's a lot of fear amongst New Jersey residents. I mean, what is your message?
Well, the message I just gave. But by the way, we're not aware of any nefarious drone that has crashed, or if there is one that's crashed, could someone please call me and let me know where that is? There are a couple of rumored downings for one reason or another. One of them was a toy, the other one was never found. But having our hands on equipment that's on the ground would be helpful, no question about it.
That was the governor of New Jersey. Phil Murphy, governor, New Jersey. So that to me is once again telling you not to panic, right? Not to panic. Not to panic. Yeah. It's crap. It's crap. People will panic. As Joe said, there's a lot of sightings been happening over New Jersey. That was the Senate, the governor of New Jersey coming out and saying, we see them, then they go dark. If it is coming,
panic.
Let's take this. Let's take on what they're saying. That is, So they're thinking that's a spy drone that's coming from a different country, going over their military bases, and they're virtually saying is, well, when you see it, it goes dark. No shit. What do you expect it to do? Wave and say, I'm over here. I'm just taking pictures of your military base. Right? Yeah. That's the, if we're thinking about this logically and we're going by what they're telling us it is, drones doing surveillance. Yeah. Well, obvious it's not going to be made to the public eye, is it? They don't want you to see it. So tell me something I don't know. Why wouldn't people get scared about that? I would. Yeah. If you're saying these are different, this is very intelligent intelligence. Now that goes along the lines of that he's for me, that subliminal messaging there. It's an intelligence. What, you watch these films, intelligence. Using the word intelligence. I think that governor there is subliminally messaging people certain words at certain times, certain things. His tone of voice, they're all prepped in a way to give you something. Don't panic. Don't worry. Just ring the FBI. Don't worry. Nothing to be concerned about. It's intelligence that we don't know. What?
But it's like that one you said about earlier that I sent this morning with a fella that drove 2 hours to get there, and he said, you know, what a waste of the time. Same thing. They're saying, you know, it's nothing to worry about. We don't feel like they're a threat. So his question is, okay, so what are they? Oh, we don't know. But you're telling us it's not a threat. You're telling us nothing, you know, but you're telling us not to worry. You can't tell us both that, you know what I mean? And it's not once did they say, what do you need? Or what, this is what we need to get further information. He said the whole time people were talking, he said it was the biggest waste of time there was in any meeting. Because basically all you got was, well, we don't know. Well, so what are you doing about it? Well, nothing.
Exactly. This is in the end of the day, if they're going by their own words, this is virtually an attack on the United States by a different country. Going by, you know, let's be serious here. They think it might be drones because that's what we're being told. You know, why aren't you acting on that?
Yeah. Some kind of surveillance drones over our military air bases. Okay,
Yeah,
what are we doing about it? Nah.
Yeah. Why don't you hand over the plans to them? You know, get someone stand in the middle of the runway, give them the plans, let the drone come down, pick it up, take it away. That's what is fascinating with this. They know it's drones, and as Joe says, if they were drones, they would be shot down instantaneously. That tells you something that our good ET UFO crafts, bad ETs are also out there, but they are cloaked and can only be seen with infrared cameras at 120 frames per second. Yeah, I say I can't, obviously I don't know the processes of that. But I say I don't believe they're drones. I really don't. All the congressional meetings are shams. Exactly that. That
way, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I'm sort of working in a line here, okay? Because I'm going to just play another video, okay? I want to play another video. It's about a minute long, and it links me to another bit that I want to go into, okay?
We are going to look back and we're going to say that the autumn of the drones was a turning point, because I know there's a lot happening behind the scenes that I can't talk about. I think there's consistent sightings of drones over military facilities. I think I've done stories about it. You and I have talked about Langley and England Air Force Base, and this has been going on now for months. The sighting of what we are told are drones over sensitive, super sensitive military facilities. It sounds like nothing at the moment, but I wager it's going to turn out to be enormous. Which is right now.
It's a way of pivoting from 2024 to 25, because this seems to be ongoing.
I think 2024 in future will be seen, ironically, as the calm before the storm.
Wow.
I think very early in 2025, all hell is going to break loose.
Which sort of goes along the lines of what, you know, Joe was saying there. You know, Mickey saying there is a, you know, Mickey believes there's a second coming that could be potentially on the cards here. I know there's this this UAP ET war that's going on. So I can get that. Once again, we are being drip fed. You know, why does it have to start off little? If they're going to fight, they're going to go at once. This is being drip fed into us. This is all a plan. Little bits here, like he just said. This is the calm before the storm. Prepare you for something. Prepare you for this,
Yeah.
prepare you for that. What it is, I don't know. I don't know. Do I generally think that we're going to see a UFO fight in the sky? No, I don't believe that. I don't think we would see that. I just think it's more, more disclosure out there to it. And that's how I see it.
See, I think it could go that way because it's going to do one or two things in it. It's just going to slowly die out and fade away, and nothing else is said about it. And if this is part of the deep state's plan, and that starts to happen, then they've got to bring back everyone's attention to it. And the way to do that, the next step for me surely would be, I'm not talking about, a galactic battle in the skies, even just one or two having a bit of a tear up, just to drag people back into it again. This was witnessed here. This was witnessed here. Either us attacking them attacking us, or them attacking each other. I don't know. Or if this isn't part of the deep state plan, it will just fade and disappear. But then saying that, even if it is, it's already there. It's been acknowledged. It's happened. Maybe that's just going to be put to bed for a future reference. They'll come back out again in a few years' time. It's the seed's been planted now.
Oh, it's massively been planted. The seed has massively been planted.
Yeah.
And this goes on to my next point. Okay, now we are being told there by an unleashing of something, the calm before the storm. I just want to check if Mickey is still in the chat. Mickey, can you just let me in the chat, because I want to play a video in a minute that I found quite disturbing. Okay, I really found it, and it made me uneasy. I don't quite know why. I'm just hoping Mickey hasn't gone, because I know I wanted this to be second part of the show, so I'm really hoping he hasn't fallen asleep. But I bet he has, as I want to talk about it. No, he's still here. Brilliant, fantastic. Now I'm going to play a video, okay, and I don't quite get the meaning of it, okay, but I don't understand it. Well, I do, but I don't get the reason why. Paul probably knows what video I'm talking about. Right, let me get it ready. We're going to fire it up.
You got to ask yourself, why would the Pope put a live streaming camera inside of the tomb of Lucifer on Christmas Day? Well, that's next on the trumpet. The Masons and the Pope are going to open the holy door. First, the Pope is going to tap on it with a little silver hammer, and then the Masons are going to remove the bricks and mortar that actually seal the holy door shut. He does his knocking, and then the Masons start chanting one of the Psalms. It's never been done before, and they're going to start this new tradition on Christmas Eve. So the World Wide Web will have symbolic access to St. Peter's tomb on Christmas Eve as they open the holy door. And that's going to mark the beginning of the Jubilee year. The Catholic Church got the whole Jubilee idea from Judaism. And in Leviticus 25, it tells you all about the special year that's focused on restoration and forgiveness. The word Jubilee in Hebrew means Yovel, which is a ram's horn. And yes, that is a trumpet. In Leviticus right here, it tells you that the sound of the trumpet announced the beginning of the Jubilee year. So you might say, it's the year of the trumpets. And keeping things in order with the book of Revelation, we'll go through the seals, then the trumpets, and then the bowls. Open the door, it's the year of the trumpets. For Christians, Jesus' declaration in the book of Luke to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor was often interpreted as a fulfillment of the Jubilee spirit. Wow, I just can't wait for Christmas to get my webcam view of the creepy crypt that's underneath St. Peter's Basilica. And that's not a wax museum down there. And as of December 5th, the Vatican hasn't even released a Christmas message. You know, when you're the 33rd degree, you wear 33 buttons on your gown. King David ruled Jerusalem
for 33 years, and the Masons built him a palace on top of Mount Zion, the mountain of God, where he issued judgment over the people. A webcam in a tomb under the altar of a church of the dragon. That dragon right there. That dragon. This flying dragon. This is right over the entrance of the door. Those dudes were all about it. 2024. Year of the dragon. You can see the dragon in the crest. He wears a tiara, and the swarm comes out of his mouth. This throne, made for somebody about 20 foot tall, sits right in front of that tomb's opening. That throne is right there, and you can see how tiny all these people are in comparison to it. That's the altar that you just saw in that video, and then that's where that dragon seal was right there, and then this is the red wall that's underground inside that crypt. The red wall, which is by the shrine of St. Peter's next to the tomb of Lucifer. That's where the webcam's going to be, right there. This is all underground, and that's the floor of Constantine. Luke chapter 4, verse 18. The words in red are from Jesus. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord.
That was a very, a long video there, but I just want to sort of just touch on the beginning of that video and how that made me feel. And I'm linking it all into this whole thing that we've just been discussing. It's got me thinking over the next couple of days, right? They're telling us, right, they're going to, now, I'm not necessarily a biblical person when it comes to following the Bible and things like that. Do I believe in a God? Yes. Do I believe in a creator? Yes, but not necessarily the biblical sense. If that makes sense to everybody. I do believe there was a creator. Now, we're told that obviously Lucifer was, quite a evil angel, so to speak. Obviously Constantine was, the bloke who went and, what we're told. And on Christmas Eve, they are going to crack open the seal of Lucifer. Christmas Eve. Why? I'm not biblical, but that is worrying me. And this
Never
is,
been done before.
Pardon?
Never been done before.
But why? Why are we cracking open the seal of Lucifer? Why?
Yeah.
Now, I contradict myself. I know I sound very contradictive there when I say I don't believe in necessarily the biblical sense. But there's something very worrying about cracking open a seal of Lucifer and then streaming it. Is that not satanic? Is that
But apparently he's not stopping there either. There's 5 seals he's going to be opening, apparently.
I just don't get it.
But wasn't that? I mean, I'm not really up on the Bible and things like that and prophecies, but wasn't that? It's the seven seals to be broken brings on the end of the days. So apparently he's going to be opening 5 seals. So what's the other 2?
But this is, where are the other 2?
Well,
3. Oh, yeah, sorry, I thought you said 4. Sorry. Now, that is worrying because obviously we're talking about what we've just been talking about, a sort of not apocalyptic event. I don't mean it like that, but we're talking about drones and we're talking about maybe a UFO type of war in the sky. And now we're linking, not linking it, but slightly shoehorning that 2025 is following a pattern here.
yeah. It's looking a bit bleak.
Is it? Good for this show. Don't get me wrong. Catholic Church, I do not agree with. Don't follow scripts. It's not man-made. They are satanic to me and hold a lot of secrets and with the dark movements. And I get that now, Mickey. I really do follow that, Mickey. I generally do.
Wolf in sheep's clothing, isn't it? A lot of it, I think.
I just don't see how that can be allowed. Why isn't there? You know, I'm expecting this seal to be cracked, and like I'm watching sort of like every sort of righteous film I've ever watched. You know, we talk about The Right, we talk about obviously The End of Days, we talk about Constantine, we talk about all these people coming together. I think they're all coming out. I think they need to all come back. And it seems to me that we are really stoking.
He's obviously got authorization to do this because although he's the Pope, he's still got his advisors, and I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure he still has like a committee that with things like that has to pass through the committee as well. He can't just go off his own back. I think that's how it works, you know. And I was it cardinals and all that around him? I could be getting the terminology wrong here, but so you know, this isn't something that he's just. This is what I'm doing, you know, like it or lump it. I'm pretty sure it would have been discussed and given permission from the top people of the church.
Yeah,
but no reason for it. As far as I know.
Mickey, if you're still there, is this something that you think is, you know, I know you're saying the Catholic Church and anything like that, and I do follow that, but do you think this should be allowed? You know, is this something, you know, am I overreacting here? Is it something that I'm overreacting on? Because I just don't agree with it. I generally don't agree with it.
If they gave you the chance, Russ, to be there to witness it being open, would you go?
Yeah.
That's exactly where I went.
But for the wrong reason.
I said the same thing. I'm watching the video and I'm thinking, what on earth could it get any worse? I mean, my good God, the tomb of Lucifer. And it came into my head. I thought, now, if I was ever invited to say, okay, would you come along and witness it? I'd be like, yeah, I would.
Oh, yeah. You know, don't get me wrong. But I don't agree with it.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't agree with it. I just think it's going to, I do generally think this has something to do with what is going on and what is planning to go on with everything that we've spoken about in this show. I think this is another thing.
Well, see, excuse me. This is where this is where the, what's the word I'm looking for? Not conspiracy comes into my head, but to live stream an event like that, to me, it's all fear. You know, it's all going to be done for show, for whatever reason, and whatever happens is man-made rather than to live stream an event like that. Because
I don't agree with it.
If you know, if you're talking about the Pope and the church and Lucifer's tomb, so you know, in theory, all hell could break loose by doing this. You could start off a massive chain of very bad events, but you're going to live stream it. Is it really happening underneath? Is it all a stage? You know, is it going to be like Ocean's 11? They thought they broke into the vault, but they didn't. They've just built a replica, and it's all for show. It's all going to be a movie that they're putting out to the world. For what reason, I don't know, but we'll find out, I suppose.
Yeah, I just find it really bizarre. And I just think this is what this plays another part in this. This plays another part in this horrible, not horrible, I shouldn't say it like that, because we don't actually quite know what's going on. We're just going by what people have said. Do you know what I mean? And followed. You know, we're just watching, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. For all intents and purposes, nothing could happen in 2025. It'd just be another year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just going with, predicting things. Yes, I do think there is going to be something. I do think it's more UAP stuff along them sort of lines. But I think, I'm sorry, I am so sorry that I just do not agree with what they are doing. I say I'm not a biblical person, and I don't mean it. I don't mean to offend anybody by saying that. I believe some of the Bible, and I'd like to learn it more to understand it, but I don't think my brain can comprehend that. Do you know what I mean? I don't think my brain is at capacity to follow the Bible in a way that it needs to be followed, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I do believe in a God, just not in the biblical sense of God. But would I be even taunting that sort of thing? No. Why would we want to? Don't we think the world has been through enough? Don't we generally think the world has been through enough crap over the last 5 years? And, with everything that has gone on through these man-made disasters, with what's going on with all these floods, these potential tsunamis, these strong winds, everything around the world. And now we're going to tempt, nothing might happen, but now we're going to tempt fate by live streaming Undoing the Tomb of Lucifer. Talk about waving a red rag to the bull and stoking the fire.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like it's doing.
So, I mean, I didn't even think about this before. So, am I missing something? Did Lucifer die in the Bible then? Because as far as I was aware, he's still live and kicking and doing his thing. This is why we got so much evil in the world. Why is it called Lucifer's Tomb? I didn't actually look into that, to be fair.
Yeah, but still, it's still stoking the fire, isn't it?
Yeah,
even if there wasn't
and
a person,
it's sealed for a reason.
Yeah, and Constantine is near it. Don't be, I'd like Constantine on my side if we are going in through this battle again. Constantine was there. But I just don't like the way that they're stoking the fire. Do you know what I mean? I don't like the way they were, pushing this bush, and stoking the hornet's nest. Do you know what I mean? It may be I may be totally reading the wrong end of the stick, but still, don't poke a fire that don't need poking. Do you know what I mean? We're going to get some bloke. You say it's sealed. It's sealed. It's sealed for a goddamn reason in my eyes.
Yeah. I feel like tuning in to watch it though.
Okay, great Christmas Day entertainment.
Yeah.
Hold on. Forget the King's speech. We're going to stick on, the cracking of the tomb. Live on YouTube. I just find it odd. Just find it really, really odd. Just find it odd. So I just feel that there is something going along this route of where we are going in 2025. That is where I'm going with it, with this UAP stuff. And I do
But
think
there's a lot of satanic things going on in the world at the moment. Or shall I say, there's always been satanic things going on in the world, but a lot of satanic things are coming to light in the world at the moment with what's been going on. And mate, yeah. So is that part of the reason, you know? Because of everything is it a distraction thing? We're seeing all this evil everywhere. So right now actually look at evil. This is Lucifer's tomb. Don't worry about all that other stuff. This is what you need to be paying attention to. That's the way it kind of, especially if you're religious. Excuse me.
Or is it just, once again, subliminal messaging?
Yeah.
You know, is it, you know, like the deep state subliminal messaging again? You know, we're going to ramp it up. Is it sort of like just that? Not, I don't want to sort of make it less than it is, because I don't agree with it. But along the lines of, you know, like sort of telling you what's going to go on. You know, we're going to up our game this year. You know, we are going to make sure that we bring hell to you this year. You know, that's how that, you know, sometimes it makes me feel. That's some, you know, we've let you get away with it for a bit long now. We've given you what you want. Now we're going to up our game.
Or is it preparing for it to kick off in 2025? And then you've got certain groups that can say, well, that's the reason. We told him not to open Lucifer's tomb. Look what you've caused.
Yeah. It opens up a blame game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Opens up a blame game. Massively. Very odd situation I think we're going to be in 2025. But, you know, I think we could be exaggerating the whole situation. We're just following what people are saying. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, but I kind of want something to happen. And I don't mean that. I don't want something bad to happen to anyone. I don't mean it like that. But I want something to happen. You know, don't build it up like that. You know, this is a big thing. This is Lucifer's tomb, or, you know, the drones. Something's got to come out of all this. Don't just disappear into the darkness again. Every time something starts to happen, and we're doing the show, sort of rubbing our hands together, going, "Oh, this could be it." You know, this could be them Project Bluebeam, or this could be that, or this could be that, and then nothing. It all dies down again, and we have to sit and wait for the next story. I just hope it. I don't want anything bad to happen to people, but I want something to happen that is along our sort of way of thinking. You know.
I just think I go to my spiritual side, though. I really go to my spiritual side. And that's where, you know, I take away everything from it. When I do, you know, our paranormal stuff, I believe in my guides, I believe in my protectors, I believe in all that. You know, and that's where I say I bring, you know, my faith into it. But I just wouldn't do it. As much as I'd be there, I wouldn't be the one doing it.
No, I'm not saying no. And I'm not saying getting involved.
I'd have my K2 ready, but that would be about it.
Yeah. See, I think that it's funny, isn't it? I think that'd be the first time I'd wear a crucifix.
Oh, definitely. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not biblical, but I say I wear my St. Christopher around my neck all the time.
Yeah. It's a belief. It's a belief.
Yeah. I think I would be dressed in crucifixes all over. I think I'd go as a crucifix. I'd go as I think I'd be ordained. I think I'd do everything possible to, I'd have me rosemary beads, I'd have the cross, I'd have holy water, I'd have absolutely everything. But I suppose I'm expecting, as soon as that first brick to sort of open, or something waiting on the other side to come through.
Yeah.
But there's
you
probably
won't use any of your arsenal, mate. You'd just be on your toes.
exactly. I'd be sort of looking, I'd be like the Exorcist woman with my head turned but facing that way.
Yeah.
As all I've got to do is bolt it. I'd be the first up them stairs. But I'm assuming that they would have all them people there, though. I'm assuming they would have, the so-called demonologists and the priests there.
What's the Mason chanting all about? The Masonic chanting. They're going to chant a psalm, and in that video, it did show you what they were going to be chanting. I can't remember what it was now. But what's that all about? It's
like a
when you believe. This is the thing. So, I'm a bit like yourself, Ross. I always say I'm not really. I believe there's a higher power. But when it comes to the biblical side of it, I'm a little bit.
But I don't understand it.
Yeah, but I love watching films or programs or reading about old, biblical relics and things like that. Hitler spent more money trying to find the Ark of the Covenant and this and that and all these different things. And I love a horror film, and when there's a possession, it's the word of Christ that gets them out, and it's the, and this and that, and I kind of believe in a lot of that. So how can I believe in a lot of that, but not believe in, I'm always sort of conflicted that way, But
as I say, I feel I contradict myself when I come. I do. The Bible, and I don't mean it to offend anybody when I say that. I think it's more I just generally don't understand it, and that But I do believe in a creator. I do believe in that. I do believe there is someone there. I think that I do believe, not necessarily a second coming, but I do believe that there is a change. Very much a change on the horizon. What that change is, I don't really know. But I do think there is some massive links here with what is going on now. And I do think it's all like a very, very deep subliminal messaging. Because why is that not? If that made mainstream media, right? If that made mainstream media, I'm sure that would kick off. I'm sure that would kick off. It's almost just been kept quiet.
But would it kick off in the religious community or not the religious community? Because I suppose I know there's plenty of different religions and Catholics, but the Pope is the commander in chief, really, isn't he? When it comes to the Catholic Church,
yeah.
So, would you get people under him, fronting him, saying, "I think you're wrong here, mate"?
You would like to think so, wouldn't you? You would.
Right. Well, yeah.
You would like to think so.
They must know. I mean, the people that follow the Pope, and they must have heard this. They must have. It must be announced somewhere.
I just think it's scary. I do. I'm sorry, but I think it's the worst thing I've heard for a long while. Mate, you're right. Mate, you're not. But I think it's being kept secrets in places. Doesn't matter what. I don't think it matters what religion you are when it comes to this sort of stuff. If you believe in good and evil, it was sort of much go along the lines that Lucifer was evil, so to speak. And that's, we're getting told in the ufology world that spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mickey, can you just elaborate on that a little bit for us, please? Is this like the spirit that I believe in, sort of mind games, so to speak? Is this a good and evil battle? Is this to make something? Do you think this is more than I'm making it out to believe, Mickey? Be honest, really be honest, because I want to be sort of shot down on it, to be fair. Because I just don't like, you know, I just think my spiritual side kicks into this. I think this plays a massive part of my spiritual being. And I think that's what unearths me, because obviously we had, you know, when it comes to being in these places of paranormal, Paul, you know when there's good or bad. Okay. Sometimes when we use the word bad is...
You're not talking demonic as such. You're talking just negative energy. But
we also know we've been in places where that negative energy is 20 times, 100 times worse than it is. And not to say it was a demonic feel, but we know it was darker than what it needs to be. Now, in my eyes, I don't believe in that we should be stoking that fire. So is this the spiritual warfare that we're talking about? That's what is bugging me. You know, I don't know if there is sort of a delay that I say. I know Mickey's sort of in and out.
I don't know, mate. I mean, I think
for the God versus Satan, full-on spiritual warfare, all prophecies lining up for what's to come. I say that is
so. That's I'm pretty sure, isn't it, the prophecy about the 7 seals being broken, which brings on the end of days. I'm almost certain about this. I'm sure I know something. You got the 7 seals that will be broken that brings on the end of days.
Is that because you've been watching too many Hollywood films?
Possibly.
So I'm assuming that yes. So it's what we okay. You know, correct us if we're wrong, Mickey, please. I should have had Mickey on, shouldn't I? I should have just gone, Mickey, come on, because we're so delayed on where it goes back. That's my bad. So is what we're saying 7 seals, Book of Revelations. Book of Revelations, 7 seals.
Right.
So we're saying, is how I see this then, is that we've got the prophecy says that the second coming, I'm assuming, going with what Mickey said prior, up here somewhere. Where am I going? Where was that then? So look, I believe the USO something going down. Second coming's closer than we can imagine, in my opinion. So I'm assuming that's the good God coming back.
Yeah, but then wasn't there also a second coming where Lucifer puts the seed in?
But this is what I'm
The-
saying.
the
Oh,
false God, isn't it?
but this is what we're on the verge of happening at the moment? Is this what Mickey is full on spiritual warfare? We've got the second coming, as in God, and then
Could
we've
be
got,
either way. Who's going to win the battle? Yeah.
and then we've got obviously the Pope is opening up a partial doorway to Satan, so to speak, Lucifer. What we, in my eyes, is dodgy crap, dodgy, mind-bending shit. So I'm assuming that maybe not in my head is that has to happen for the second coming to come back in God. That's how my head works.
So you've got to have this equal balance of good and evil.
Yeah,
And
I think yin and
win a
yang.
will prevail sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. And it's
Rapture, then 7 years of total destruction on Earth, Antichrist, second coming. Oh, so 25 to what? 2032. In that order. So Rapture, then 7 years of total destruction, Earth, Antichrist, second coming. So in 7 years, the Antichrist, as soon as I'm assuming Satan comes, 7 years of destruction, then I don't get what the Antichrist is. I do apologise. I don't mean to offend you, Mickey. And then we get a second coming to save us. That's how I'm reading that.
Yeah, well, the way I took it was the Antichrist would be Lucifer's offspring as well as the second coming. That's the way I've always sort of thought of it.
Right, got you. Yeah, no, that makes
It could be completely wrong, but let's be fair. The destruction of Earth, and that's strong language, isn't it? There, but in the biblical sense, that's strong language, and you read that as destruction of Earth, and I think everyone's mind goes to sort of the cracking of the Earth, the lava coming up, and the buildings falling down, and within a slight play on that is that we're not in a great position, are we? We are falling apart as everything is there. How long we are into this? Potentially, we could be 6 years into this destruction of Earth. I was going to say, it all comes down to the interpretation of it, doesn't it? It could just mean destruction of Earth as in life as we know it. So there could be a complete overhaul of the way we live our lives.
The Antichrist will be one man, world leader, and for the world to obey him. I get you. So that goes along the lines of, let's put that in terminology of what we said, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Mickey. I don't mean to sort of. I'm so useless when it comes to things like this, because that sort of goes along the New World Order line, doesn't it? That one world order.
Klaus Schwab springs straight to mind, doesn't it? But he's sort of back down now, isn't he? He's stepped down.
Yeah, but then that's step and backwards and forwards.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be Klaus Schwab, I don't think.
No,
because there was too many people that saw it out. Look who's coming up through the ranks, and I know a few people have said it over the world, over the years. With old Elon Musk, he's saying all the right things to get people to follow him. So the second one is fooling people with. This man is doing everything for the people, so the people who are gathering up around. I'm not saying that the Elon Musk, by the way.
Yeah,
one man
fool the world to obey him. Yeah. Right, Mickey. It makes. Thank you, Mickey. I do apologise, Mickey. I really should have had you on. I should have absolutely used this, which I haven't got too much of at the moment, and said, would you come and join us for the second half of the show? Because this would have been a lot easier to talk about like that. But that makes more sense to me. How I see it now and how Mickey has put that to me, I think we are somewhere in that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying we're into the 7 years, but I do get, this one world order, which they've tried to push for years. You think the COVID situation, they tried to sort of, we're along that lines, aren't we? Do you know what I mean?
And what's the main agenda for that was one world government, one world leader, one world army, one world this. And this was what we were saying about Project Bluebeam. First it was going to be the second coming. They were going to try and fake the second coming, but then it was going to be easier to either the second coming or an alien invasion, which will create a one world government. Now, what does it look like it's leading towards at this very moment? It looks more like it's an alien invasion, doesn't it?
He fools the world and also acts as a kind of mimic to Christ. All in the scriptures. And I think it makes sense now. It makes sense to me now. And that's, I'm so glad you sort of stayed with us, Mickey, and answered a few of them, because how you've put it has made me sort of see how it will work, because obviously sort of like the destruction of Earth, you see all the Hollywood films, don't you, of like, fire here, fire there, the end of days. Yeah, there could be potentially some of that somewhere, but I don't think it is. But you can sort of see the destructions of that now. Do you get what I'm saying? You can sort of see the downings of that, especially within the UK, with the government that we've got here now. May upset people, I know that, but the government are just running out. They are really strangling the people. They are distracting, and I'm not going to be sitting here and just talking about, look what they're doing to the poor, the older generation here. They've strangled them at the top of the. Why go for them? What's next? It is that slight. You can see that destruction happening within the UK if you look outside of the box. If that makes sense. I'm not obviously. Please don't think I'm saying that fucking bang, naughty me. Don't worry, it's past 9 o'clock. And I'm not saying that obviously the government is the Antichrist at the moment. It almost feels like it, but you can see what they're not helping the people. They say they are, but they're not.
No.
Yeah, I sort of get it. I get it now. And I do think this all links into what we was talking about at the beginning of the show. I do think that is a part of that as well. This makeshift maneuver that we're seeing, the mainstream TV plays a big part of this destruction, doesn't it? How it can lead people to believe what they believe. I get it. I do get it. Well, I thank you, Mickey, for that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, real top man for that. I really appreciate that, because as in my head, it may not be how every other person sees it, and I don't mean it. If I've offended anybody, I don't mean it like that. But I've made sense of it in my head where that video has come from. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I just don't like it because it is a spiritual thing for me. It is a thing that I believe in, and when I work, I would hate that side of things to overtake what we have. So that's where I worry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My spiritual thing. Hold on. Look at Syria, the fall of Damascus, all in the scripts, all happening now. Around 2,000 prophecies come true so far, and only 2,500 in the full Bible.
Yeah. And they always said it starts from the east as well in the Bible, doesn't it?
So reading that, does that mean there's still 500 more prophecies to go?
Yes.
And that's obviously including the 7 years and all that. That must be in them prophecies? It's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in. Very interesting, though. Very interesting.
Yeah, it does get you thinking, doesn't it?
It's got you thinking. You can see your clock's ticking. But no, we have come towards the end of the show. Thank you ever so. It means it's close. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you ever so much to everybody that has joined us tonight. It really appreciate it. I say, if it wasn't for you guys helping us along the way, yeah, we wouldn't get our answers and questions. I want to say a massive, massive thank you to Joe and Mickey for all the interaction tonight. Absolutely fantastic. Mickey, thank you for the second half, because I think I would have been very, very lost without you sort of intervening, and I would have actually got you on the show if I'd actually thought about it. But my brain just isn't ticking in the right direction at the moment, and I apologise for that, because it would have saved you all the writing, wouldn't it? Let's be fair. So take care, everybody. Thank you for everyone that has joined us over on Pulse Talk Radio tonight. Thank you for everybody that has joined us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take care, and we'll all see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for everybody that has joined us over on Facebook and YouTube tonight. We really appreciate it. Stay safe, take care, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye.